November 26, 2025. Guys, a quick update on 3i Atlas. Many of you were live with us when we watched the, whatever you call that thing NASA had, the clown show up. When the first thing they came in and said, oh, we found out it's definitely a comet. Now everybody sat down and shut up. And they showed old images that we've had for months. It was nothing new shown to anyone. Just it was a comet. Now be quiet and listen to this propaganda and bullcrap. But we saw the outgassing in it. Then the next thing we saw was that a course correction that put it inside the gravitational circle called Jupiter's Hill, so that it would be affected by anything within that group by the gravity of Jupiter. And to me, and someone else mentioned in the comments, we had said that, is this possibly a slowing down, turning around maneuver? But now I just want to show you a few things. You've got many comets out there. There's 30-something different Atlas comets, and Atlas comes from a telescope, and then the numbers indicate the different comets. But you've got a fragmenting comet 2025 K1. You can see the tail here, but on Atlas, guys, everything's changing. You've got one from Brian Autumn right here, November 25th, 3:58 in. Today, Lapeer, Michigan. See this? No tail. Here's one from Dr. Siegfried Wida, November 24th. Hakos, Namibia. Right there, no tail. Back to that dot. Here's one from right here. Grazinio Ventra, Pastazion Astronomica, Somano 2, wherever that is. Anyway, November 24th, there it is, no tail. Again, over here, look, you got, this is C25T1 Atlas. Now, the way you remember the numbers on Atlas 3i is that it's N1. And the way I remember N is for no tail. You know, it's just me, my weird ways. But again, here's from Efren Morales, November 23rd, from Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. No tail, just that glow. And basically that little bit of forward lighting that we saw in the beginning of it. So what has it done? NASA, did it make its corrections to get close to Jupiter? And now it doesn't need that outgassing that you said that because it got close enough to the sun caused that? Really? Look at here, again, Efraim Morales in Puerto Rico. Let's see, now here is C25K1. You can see the tails on it. Here's Comet 2025 K1 again. And that's the way it is all the way through. Now, you also have K1 Atlas. It is now it's showing 3 pieces here, but it's 4 pieces. This is coming from Brian Jobson from Milgavie, Glasgow, Scotland. But again, we are watching Atlas. And we're just not getting, here's, for example, what will happen sometimes, guys. Comet C25K1 Atlas showing a tail, but it's not N1. That's the one we're watching. Just kind of scroll down a little bit here, see what else. Here we go, November 19th, even from Horny Raznes in Czechoslovakia, Martin Gimbeck, right there, see that? No tail. Comet 3i Atlas again, November 19th, no tail. So again, what are we dealing with here, guys? All of a sudden, all of that outgassing is gone. We saw a maneuver move. Now it's headed towards the pull of Jupiter. And what will be interesting to see, if we can get the correct information, will it increase its speed the closer it gets? Because it's going to come a lot closer to Jupiter than it did our sun. And to me, Jupiter is the binary twin of our sun. If you've studied this, Jupiter does not orbit the sun like all the other planets do. And when I say orbit, it comes from inside probably the center of the sun outward, but from that point, all the planets are tied in like an invisible rope. But Jupiter is not. Jupiter and the sun orbit each other from a point outside the sun, like a binary star system. So how will that affect, and is that the slowing down mechanism or maneuvering? Like I said in the video before, that it would be perfect coming in from trillions of miles out and using an inner solar system wrap around the sun and then out back out to Jupiter to slow down. That's like coming in for a power slide, after a big race, just kind of coasting in and taking advantage of all the natural gravity from the sun and Jupiter and those things. So we better keep an eye on it. I will definitely do it. We don't know what's going to happen. We definitely know we're not going to get the truth from NASA. They really are a clown show now. And I think the people in the upper echelon of NASA have all retired or been fired or something, because those 4 clowns we saw the other day on that NASA presentation, never heard of any of them before, and none of them looked like they had much sense. Probably not to pour out of a boot, if you understand what I'm saying. And it was pitiful. But again, we do not have a tail on Atlas 3I. I don't want to make this long and drawn out, guys, but I thought it would be interesting. I was looking through all the different images this morning. Let's go up. This is space weather. It's right here. It's called a real-time image gallery. There's 3 of them on space weather, and look and click on the one that says real-time comet image gallery. But you can look at different objects and things like that. Here's comet. You can see neat right here. See it lifting out. You can see it's got a tail. Again, what are we going to be seeing with Atlas in the next few weeks and getting into that Jupiter orbit? It's going to be very interesting. I can't help but always say, especially with this object, that all civilizations say either they came from the stars or their gods or their creators did, and they're waiting for that return. Or how many people's waiting for Jesus to return? A lot of people got it backwards. They think they're going out to be raptured. They'd say it, but Christ said, I'm coming back here. We're going to straighten this mess out right here. So if you guys want to be going off on that first one, proclaiming to be Christ, jump on that train. See how far it gets you. The easy way out is never the right way. Not in this situation. Not when you have been told different. When you go into the Bible and to the New Testament, the last book in it is the book of Revelation. That's between our Savior Jesus Christ and John on the island of Patmos. That happened before Rome sent anybody in there and added a bunch of books to the Bible. But now suddenly the words of Christ are not good enough. He's saying, I'm coming back. There's going to be trials and tribulations. But then Rome puts someone in there that says, no, you're not going to have to worry about that. You're not going to have to worry about standing up and purifying your soul and yourself and helping your friends out. You can just sneak out that back door and jump on that magic carpet anytime you get ready. And they've already started it up again since September 23rd, that fiasco. And it creates a great disillusionment against a lot of Christians. I mean, for a lot of Christians. And is that what the false preachers are trying to do, guys? But again, a lot of people don't like me talking about the Roman rhino. That's too bad, guys, because I've been doing this a long time, for 50 years. 50 years ago, I started looking into some of this. Probably 40 years ago, digging into the Hebrew and the Greek and the Aramaic and looking at true meanings. But so many people are so entrenched in what Rome put into the Bible to shift the information away from Jesus. So here's a test. If you really care, where did Jesus talk about the rapture? Or was it just Paul that came after? And notice how they put the books of Paul in the middle to make it appear as that if they were part of the Gospels. There's only 4. You know what I'm saying? And then the people now would rather listen to the doctrines of Rome than Jesus Christ. But again, tell me, was it the rhino from Rome that came in and killed a lot of Christians, including Stephen, who was going to be one of the leaders in the group that Jesus found to go out and spread the word? He had to be taken down. Paul had to replace him. But Paul changed everything. Jesus said, I did not come to change one dot of the laws. Paul said, it's a new age. We can do other things. You ain't got to listen to that. And you women, shut up in church. Don't say a word to me. When you get home, ask your husband if you need to know anything. But who took away what Christ said? Now, I want you to tell me in the comments if you're going to speak up about this. Do you trust Rome more than you trust Jesus? Just say Jesus or Rome in the comments. And then I want you to think about what I'm telling you. But the blinders were put on over 1,000 years ago, because what happened, very briefly, is Rome came in, they had Christ killed. They wanted to, but they saw the power of the Christian movement. They saw that Christ was resurrected, and so they had to control that very quickly before it got out of hand and the Roman Catholics lost power. You understand what I'm saying? So kill Stephen. Get someone in there that appears to be holy. Oh, even though, guys, if you'll study something, here's another little test for you. A couple times in the New Testament, Paul describes his journey to Damascus. But in the court of law, it wouldn't hold up, because the 2 times he tells a story different enough, guys, to where it's obviously a lie. He was never ordained by Christ. He was put here by Rome to change the thinking. And what happened then, a lot of the books got put into the Vatican and changed and removed, like Enoch and other things like that showed the truth. But the most deadly of them all was the Roman that came in here as a murderer. But again, look up the 2 stories of the road to Damascus. One time the people heard the voice, and the other time I think they saw something. Remember that? Well, it was 2 different stories, totally. Let's take a look at that a moment.